Hello YouTube and welcome to our 29th Unity 3D tutorial, and in this tutorial we're going to create a loading screen like we said last time. So I wanted to move away from the traditional loading screens where it's either a simple animation or just a circle thing spinning around saying loading, because that gets very boring. But I didn't want to make a full level animation where you can run around like Assassin's Creed did. Basically when you're loading you can run around this imaginary fog world, but that'd be a bit annoying. But so what I thought about doing was taking another leaf out of Skyrim's books, where it has different loading screens all the time, so you hardly ever see the same loading screen because it's got so many, and the loading screens can be on items, characters, landscapes, everything. So I thought that'd be really cool to do to ours. So what I did was, for now I only got 3 images to make it quick and simple, but I think every tutorial I'll like introduce a new one, upload it, show you. But yeah, so we've got Darth Vader here, because we've got Darth Vader in, and on this one I basically just blacked out this wallpaperzzzz.com and then put some text on, kept it all the same. Shang Tsung I basically flipped on the other side, coloured him same background as Darth Vader and added the text on, and then same for Deathstroke, but him I scaled up massively, put him here, put the background on and put the text on. So the result in that I got these. So Darth Vader, did you know, loading. Luke Skywalker thinks Darth Vader, Luke's father, died on the Death Star. However, Darth Vader was resurrected by the sorcerer known as Shang Tsung. So that gives Shang Tsung and Darth Vader a little bit of background. So we could invent another story there, like a side quest. And the next one I did was Shang Tsung. Did you know Shang Tsung will hire strong characters to perform hits on people in the world. However, he doesn't like failure. Fail and he may come after you too. So that gives us like reputation, so he may like us, he may not, so try not to fail. Yeah. And Deathstroke here, so I've scaled in pretty hard. The gun I'm not too happy about because the gun's a bit not really good quality, but it'll do for now. Deathstroke is a dangerous assassin. He can assassinate someone from long distances. He could be a good ally to have, however also a bad enemy. So that gives like game luck, karma, reputation, because if he hates you, that's reputation. Karma, if you do bad things, he'll hate you, or bad against him things because he kills people. So that's karma. And then luck, the chances whether he'll shoot you or not, whether you'll dodge it or something. So yeah, so I've imported all them, and all the links for all my images and all them are in the description. So that's all good. And here we are, so I've put all 3 in. And what I'm going to do is select all of them and just quickly change the max size from 124 to 248. And the reason that is because I scaled the images to my monitor size, which is nearly 2000, or 2000 across, 1000 up, and this is just 1000 squared, so that stretched it and it looked really bad. So what I'm just going to do is turn it to that so it's the size of my monitor or the closest one, so that when it does rescale it, it doesn't look as bad. If you do it to your monitor size, do the whichever closest is your biggest one. So my biggest is 1920, which is that. If most monitors, well, family monitors are 1024, but if you're a gamer you may have bigger. And of course it goes up to 4000, but yeah. So choose that and click apply, whichever one you have. And then what I'm going to do is go to game object, create other, GUI texture, here. So as you see we have that. And what I'm going to do first is just simply drag a random one of these textures, Darth Vader, onto it there. As you can see, it's so small, we don't want it there. What the basic plan is for the loading screen is we're going to stretch it and make it fill our screen so we can't see anything. And then we'll scale it to the right size using a script next time, so it's always there. And what we're going to do is just turn it on and off really quickly when we load. So as soon as the script loads, it turns it off. As soon as it hits a loading sequence, like a door or something, it'll be on. And then it'll be on the next screen, but as soon as it starts reading, it'll turn it off again. So it's kind of like a traffic light system if you want. But what I'm going to call this is just loading screen, like so. And then now I'm going to scale it and position it so it fills my monitor. This did take me a while to get right because I wanted it spot on. So mine, I've already done, is 950 by 475, 1920 by 950. There we go. So as you can see, mine's scaled. It doesn't fit on properly because as you know, I had to scale mine down. Mine is currently 1136 by 874. Any bigger and Unity starts lagging really badly with the recorder. So yeah. Anyway, so I've done that, and I'm just going to hide the GUI texture right now so we can actually see what we're working on. You can also just do it in scene view, but yeah. So now we've done that, we've got to create a new script. So I'm going to go back to our scripts folder and create a new folder inside it called HUDs. Yeah, just HUDs. And in here I'm going to create a new script, JavaScript, and call this one loading screen. There we go, so loading screen. And before we start, I'm just going to attach it to this so we don't forget about it. It's not finished yet. Okay, there we go. Now boot that up and we have this. So what I'm first going to do is create a static variable so we know when the loading screen's got to be on and off. Because we don't want to be setting all the changes inside every single time he hits it. We just want to change one thing, which is on or off. So static var as usual, loading screen on equals true. So we'll just make it default be on. And then we're going to create a new note and call it textures, because we're going to randomize between the three textures. So we need a random code, which is a case statement, which we did for our health, but then we also need every single texture. So what we're going to do is just type in var Darth Vader, or whatever the name is of your texture 2D, and then duplicate that 3 times, or however many times you've got, death stroke, and finally Shang Tsung. And it is a T in front of Sung. It's not to Sung, but Sung, yeah. So now that we've got all our variables set, I'm going to go inside our start function and just position update right. And in here, I'm going to create a small if statement that if this loading screen variable is on, then because as soon as it starts reading our script, this is the point where we turn it off again, so it's not showing when we start each level, because then we won't be able to play. So yes, I'm going to, if, because it's a static variable, we have to go to the script first, which is loading screen dot variable loading screen on equals true, which it does. So also, if you didn't know, I set mine out, I set mine out with the brackets there just because it suits me, but most Java coders will sort it like that and keep it so it's like that, but it's up to you really what you want. I usually do it like this, but so we're going to copy this up here because then it'll save us loads of writing. If loading screen equals on equals true, then make it false, and then GUI texture dot enabled equals false, so we turn it off and it's not on. So that's that bit done. And now what we're going to do is copy all of this and paste it into our function update here. So as you can see, we have if it equals true, which it does, because once it's turned it off, what happens if it's still on, like someone's purposely turned it on? Then what we want is to make it randomized here, so we'll just type in random pictures. Yeah, so that's where we're going to randomize, and then GUI text enabled equals true now, because if it's still enabled once it's turned it off, it means it needs to be on. So it'll turn it on, and then because it only reads start function once, it won't read it again. So it'll stay there. So now that's all done, but we need to make our random pictures randomize. So I'm going to create a new function like we did for our case statement, random pick, like so, and just put this down here. And now before we forget, I'm just going to put this back in here where it's supposed to be, random pick. So when it loads it, it'll choose the random picture, equip it, then show it so we don't see it change. So I'm going to create 2 variables in here. This code I'm about to show you for the randomize, I don't think we've actually used yet, but it's a really good 1-line, 2-line code which randomizes between 2 numbers what you set, and then we basically equip a case statement to it and say whatever random number's chosen, go to this case statement and pick that number from our list. So it's really good. So I'm just going to call this rand pick, so it random picture, and then this will equal to random dot range, and then that's where we set our maximum and minimum. But that random dot range basically means randomized between the range in the brackets, which we're about to put in. So we only have 3 images, and Unity always starts from 0. So our minimum will be 0, 0, 1, 2. Then we put comma 2. So that's where we need to. That's what two numbers we need to randomize. So now what we need to do is create another variable and just call it chosen picture or whatever you want, and make this always equal to the random pick. So whenever we call the chosen picture variable, it'll randomize a number and then return that number. If we just go straight for the random picture, it will throw an error. So try not to do that. So now that we've done that, we're going to create our switch case statement. So switch, and it will go for the chosen picture and open it up. And first we're going to type in case 0, because case 0 is where we start, and break. So now we've done that, we'll go GUI texture equals, and then we set our texture. So our texture we want is Darth Vader, so it'll be that. Now that's done, we copy this 3 times, duplicate, and 1 and 2. So that's our 3 pictures. Change the pictures, Deathstroke, and then Shang Tsung. There we go. So that's that done. Now that'll randomize. However, there is actually nothing yet what can enable and disable the loading screen on or off. So what we're going to do is just copy this here and go back to our collection script. Because if you remember, when we made the changing levels script, we added the collections into it so it could quickly change. So what we're going to do is go to wherever we put the collection script, which was player starts. No. Items, yep, collection, open this up, and in here we're going to find wherever we enter an interior or hit to change a new level, which is these two here. So just underneath these I'm just going to paste, in fact I'll do it above because we want it to do it before it, even if it is not even a second. But yeah, so but these have got to be true, like so. So now it'll run it, activate the loading screen, bang, it'll pop up, randomize image, show, and then load, so it'll be loaded when we go into another one. So now that we've done that, that should all work once we equip it. So we're going to equip all our textures, texture, and Darth Vader, Deathstroke, and Shang Tsung. So now that we've done that, we are going to create that as a prefab for a minute before we start. So create prefab, and we'll call this loading screen. There we go. And in this prefab, we're just going to drag our loading screen in. Boom. Now we're going to save this and then stick the same prefab on our interior level. Loading screen. Boom. There we go. Wouldn't have to equip nothing because it's already equipped all. Back to level 1. And just to save time so we can quickly jump between them, I'm just going to drag the door for this. If I can see it. There. Just going to duplicate this. Move it out and drag it up. There we go. So now that we don't have to walk all the way up there to hit it, we can just walk into it there and test everything we need to. So save that and let's try. Loading screen, test 1. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it'll work first time. So we start and we shouldn't see anything, which is right there. So now we can walk about. All works. So now if we hit this it should show a loading screen. Darth Vader. Perfect. So now we're in here, and then we hit this again, and it should show another one. Darth Vader. So let's try again. Deathstroke. You saw his gun there. And again, Darth Vader. When we put more in, we won't see just one, because it'll keep randomizing. Darth Vader. Darth Vader. Darth Vader's a very popular one. And we haven't seen Shang Tsung yet. Darth Vader. So what number's Shang Tsung? Okay, so we're not seeing Shang Tsung yet, so I'm just going to have a little test. In our loading screen where we have our case random, minimum, set it to 3, so 1 above yours. Because one of the numbers is like, you've got to do it before 1 or after 1, else it doesn't recognise it. So fingers crossed we should see Shang Tsung this time. Deathstroke. And Deathstroke. And Darth Vader. Shang Tsung. There we go. All 3 working perfect. So on your maximum range, so you've got minimum, maximum, always set it 1 more. So in the next tutorial, like I said, we're going to scale everything down using a script which is exactly the same as our GUI lining, except we just change it to scale. So that shouldn't take long, so we might do something else in that tutorial too. So thank you for watching, please like, comment, and if you've got any suggestions say below, and see you later.